Hi, everybody. Hello.
Welcome to the Florida Person Podcast. I guess it's a podcast. It's a podcast for weird news.
Florida Person. Florida Person. Florida Person.
I love weird news stories, but I'm also one of those people that I hear about it and I'm like, that was nice. Goodbye now.
Oh, yeah, no. I'm like, I see something and then I'm like, wait, what happened? Oh my gosh. I'm like, I don't know. The whole last week I was overcome with emotion over how sad it was about that plane crash that killed Buddy Holly and Richie Valens and the Big Bopper. But I'm not going to talk about it today.
I immediately just thought there was a plane crash in Nepal that happened yesterday. So that really actually does completely fit in with this theme. Because I was like, oh yeah, that plane crash that just happened is very sad. And you're like, no, the one in the past.
The one in the past, the one that happened 70 years ago, which I'm not going to talk about right now because it's going to be coming up. The anniversary is going to be coming up in a couple of weeks. So I'm like, I want to make it. It's really stupid to find something very sad, which has already been historically a great song was made of it. And a lot of songs were, and then be like, wait, guys, no, it was really sad. And let me explain the reasons why. But I'll
oh yeah, that's the day the music died, isn't it? That's what that's
so
based off.
So it's guys, it was really sad. But yeah, I was like, oof, geez. Earlier this week, which we were just talking about last week, Lisa Marie Presley, Elvis's only daughter,
I heard that, yes,
died.
Oh
and we
gosh.
were just talking about that in our last episode. And
the Nepo babies, but how we don't mind Nepo babies. I don't mind them.
You know what? Let's just support people wanting to do what they want to do.
I also
because it's very sad. That sort of thing is just very common. And I also,
I was arguing this with another person.
Yeah, it's as an audience member, it's always going to be fun for an artist that you love, like an actor or singer, and you love what they do, and it's gonna always be fun if they have somebody else that's their child that gets into the same thing, because you're like, oh, they kind of look like that person. Oh, that reminds me of their parent. And then, it's fun. It's a fun, enjoyable thing, I find. And it's also a lot of stress and it's a lot of pressure to have on a person. So to see somebody be successful, it's really nice. It's not an easy life for, especially somebody like Lisa Marie Presley.
It just seems like there's only two ways Nepo babies can really go. They go completely insane and on these drug fueled benders and have this crazy horrible thing, or they're just super talented and we get a bunch of art out of it and that's great. So I wanted to go the second way.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's I don't know. I have always followed Hollywood stories, Hollywood news my whole life. And there's just some things that pop up in cultural conversations where it's oh, did people just find out that there are people in the industry that have family members that are also in the industry? Some of them are very talented. Some of them are less talented, because it's that's just what I know. That's always been a thing. And it's always been fun to be oh, look who that is. Oh, he's, Nicolas Cage. Come on. The Coppolas, everywhere. So
it's not all Chad Hanks or Chaz Hanks or Tom Hanks is crazy. Son. It's not all like that. It's sometimes it's the other Hanks brother who's also the one who was in the season.
Colin Hanks.
Yeah,
and
Colin Hanks is great.
There's another Hanks child that playing his younger self in that Otto movie, A Man Called Otto. I didn't even know I had no idea he had another son. It's just fun for me to be
even know
ooh, entertainment. Ooh, I watched a horror movie the other day that had, what was it called? It was called Lullaby. And I don't know, it was fun. I watched it with my
What was it
mother.
called?
Lullaby. It was produced by
Oh, good.
James
Oh,
Wan,
Lullaby.
and it's like a woman
Oh,
who
he does a lot of stuff.
baby that like her and her husband have a baby, and then she ends up with this book, and it, when you sing this lullaby, it brings demon stuff into the story. And
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah.
actress the actress that plays the mother is Una Chaplin,
Mhm.
whose mother is Geraldine Chaplin, who's a famous actress. She was in Dr. Zhivago. She was in Home for the Holidays, a lot of movies. She is one of the daughters of Charlie Chaplin and
Oh.
Una O'Neill. So
Oh.
Una Chaplin is
That's great.
named
That's
after
cool.
it's named after her grandmother. So her grandfather is Charlie Chaplin, and
That's amazing.
her
That's so
great
much.
and her great grandfather is Eugene O'Neill. So it's like insane. Like that is like an insane lineage to come from.
That's a
That's like,
pedigree.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
that's a
fun.
pedigree for sure.
It's
I don't know.
fun.
I don't mind it. I'm not hating on it. I mean, there's always a little bit of jealousy, like people who are in the industry, and I have that too. But like, I don't know. I'm probably one of those people that get more jealous of my friends than like celebrities. So
Yeah. Yeah,
um,
exactly.
healthy jealousy, healthy stuff. I saw Mithrigan this last night,
Oh my
and
gosh,
it is iconic. You have to go see it. It's so good.
I have to
I mean, I'm
see
sure it'll
it.
come to streaming very soon,
I
but
have
it
to see it.
is.
I'm glad that there's all these Megans out there in the world. It's very
We have
fun.
another horror icon, dude. It got like greenlit. It's like the next Chucky, but like for this I'm so happy that like there's just such good horror out there like
Yes.
recently, and I'm so proud of all of it. I'm like, oh my love. Oh man, you know what? I hope that there's a Mithrigan, and I won't stop calling it Mithrigan because the E is a 3 in the title card, and I'm gonna always say that.
Uh-oh,
Also,
she's gonna
the
get
E
you.
is like it's Model 3 generative android is what Megan stands for, so it is
Oh.
Mithrigan. All right.
She's gonna come and get
And
you. She's gonna get
I
you.
hope there's a Halloween Horror Nights maze next
Oh,
year with
they have
Mithrigan. I will lose
to.
my shit. I will
They
lose my
have
shit.
to. They have to do that. They have to.
I know it got greenlit for a bunch of sequels, and I hope they don't totally ruin it. I hope it's more like Chucky, where it just keeps adding to
More
the whole.
and
It's a whole
more
thing. I just
and
want
more.
more Mithrigans. Oh, so there you go. that's
Good.
the top of the hour, everybody. That's what's
Top
going
of the
on with
hour.
us. But
Yes.
what's going on in news or in
In the
past news? Because
old
you're coming up
news.
first.
In the old
What do you got?
news. Well, today is a
Yeah.
national holiday. Today is Dr.
Yes, it
Martin Luther
is.
King Jr. Day. Found a nice little article about things that it's 32 things you probably didn't know about Martin Luther King Jr. And I'm not going to go through all 32 things. I'm just going to go through things that I find
Give us
interesting.
the highlights.
Yeah. He's the only American other than George Washington whose birthday is a national holiday.
I mean, that's probably so easy to fact check, but I guess I never thought about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Was
President's
Lincoln
Day's just near a bunch of birthdays or something?
did
But it's
Lincoln's
not
did
anybody's birthday.
Lincoln have a holiday and then that became President's Day, or I don't know.
No,
Okay.
President's Day is near Lincoln's birthday, but I don't think it's on it. And it's
Okay.
near some other things too. And they were just like, yeah, President's Day.
Okay. But Lincoln's birthday is not a national holiday. It's just like it's a day. Okay, cool.
I guess we know it, but it's not, you don't get the day off.
I also learned something. I felt really stupid when I learned this because I don't know, I've heard this song a lot, but I only hear this ever playing when it's like, I don't know, somebody's birthday, like on like a late night talk show or something. And then like Stevie Wonder will pop out or something and be like, happy birthday. And I had no idea that song was written for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. because
Really?
I don't think I've ever, like, listened to the full song, and it's very obvious that it is about Dr. King, when you listen to it because he just specifically says
Oh,
that,
well,
but
happy birthday.
yeah, and it's a
Yeah,
beautiful
Dr.
song,
King.
and I really, like, recommend listening to it with that historical context.
Yeah.
Dr. Martin
Huh.
Luther King's Jr.
We'll link
There
it.
is yeah, let's do that. Dr. King's first name was not Martin, it
No, really?
was Michael,
Huh.
after his given name was actually Michael King.
Hmm.
So, that's a
Hmm.
thing where I'm like, Dr. Martin Luther King, so it was Michael I'm confusing myself with this logic. So his father was Michael King Sr., so he was Michael King Jr., then he became
Hmm.
Martin Luther King Jr.
Did he
I guess
change it to
so.
Martin Luther?
Yeah, he did. He did, after, in 1934, after King Sr. attended an international Baptist conference in which he
Right,
became
because of Martin
oh,
Luther, the Protestant icon,
they both
you
changed
know?
their name. I got
Oh, okay, that
confused.
okay.
I got
Oh,
confused.
good, okay.
Maybe I should start that over again.
Sure, well, do whatever you feel. If you
Do
wanna
whatever
do
I
it
feel.
real quick again.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., his father, we would think that would be Martin Luther King Sr. Well, actually,
Mhm.
both of their names were Michael, but in 1934, the Reverend Michael King Sr. attended an international Baptist conference in Germany where he became inspired by the teachings of the 16th century religious thinker Martin Luther. So he changed his name and his son's name from Michael to Martin Luther. And that was when he was 5
Ooh.
years old. So he remained Mike to his closest friends and family for the rest of his life, which is
Huh.
so cool.
I guess that's young enough where you're just like, "Yeah, sure, that's young enough." You haven't gotten too established in that name, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So,
It'd be so weird, though, if your parents was just gonna change your name, like, partial way through your life.
yeah,
You
I
know?
can
Just
this now.
if he was, like, 16, he's like, "You're not Mike anymore." You know?
He enrolled in
That would be strange.
college when he was 15. He was very
Yeah.
smart. He was a genius.
Well, yeah, I mean,
He was a
obviously,
genius. He was the youngest, he's the youngest person to get the Nobel Peace Prize.
Oh, when did he get it? Does it say his age when he got it?
Yeah, he got that when in 1964, he was 35 years old, making
Dang,
him the
dude.
youngest male recipient to be
Oh, is there
awarded.
a woman who did it even younger?
There were yeah, Malala. Malala was 17.
Oh, right, right.
There's
Wow.
actually
Wait, I bet
5
he held
women.
that though for a little while. Wow.
5 women, where others were in their 30s, which will be
Oh,
in
okay.
the article that we list. He also won a Grammy Award.
Oh,
He won a Grammy Award, for,
a lot of
a
people have run
speech.
Grammys, so you wouldn't think.
Yeah, exactly. He won it for, a speech, "Why I Oppose the War in Vietnam."
Oh, good.
Yeah, and there's a lot of I don't know, there's some controversy over was his favorite dessert pecan pie, which a lot of
Ooh.
people say pecan pie, and his favorite
Well,
dessert
we love a dessert controversy.
exactly. Yeah, so there's a lot of blogs, a lot of articles say his, favorite dessert was pecan pie, but it was this other thing that's made out of, like, marshmallows and quilly.
Like a marzipan?
It's like,
Quilly.
marshmallows and fruit and gelatin.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
go with
it's like a
pecan
fruit
pie.
salad.
I
It's
don't
like
like this already.
mac
No fruit
six
salad.
6
Thanks.
stale macaroons. Yeah, so, that sounds
Uh-uh.
like something from, like, the olden times for sure, because they were all about, like,
It does.
gelatin and fruit salad and marshmallows and
Gelatin was
mix it up
huge.
together and put some mayonnaise on it, and you have dessert.
Oh, ugh.
No, thank
I
you.
always I always want, like, a cup of Jello, and, like, midway through the cup, I'm like, it's just not doing it for me. I don't know. It's not doing it for me.
I know. I sometimes I have to do like a liquid diet before things, and it's like, oh, this is so refreshing. I can eat this all the time, and then no, next time I have to have it, it's
then
difficult.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with pecan pie because I want him to like pecan pie as much as I do.
Exactly. So those are like the interesting facts from Dr. King that I share. That will be included.
I love it. Those are all fun. I love a fun, lighthearted story about like somebody who was very iconic and important. Very like, that's cool. Just like me. We both love pecan pie.
Well, yeah.
So that's great.
Good for him.
I didn't know the Mike one. That's the most interesting one, that he had a different name. I bet nobody on the street knows that. I bet if you went out and did that as on the street, like a Billy on the street kind of thing, no one would know.
Just ran up to people.
Yeah. You're like, what was Martin Luther King Jr.'s first name, real name before he changed it? And everybody be like, I don't know.
Help me.
So
what's going on? What's going on in the world of the present day?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Present day. This story is from a couple days ago, January 13th, 2023. This is, I was going to say breaking news, but obviously I just said it was from a few days ago, so that's not true at all. I don't know why I went that down. Here we go. Police investigate after Dallas Zoo missing leopard is found.
What?
So I guess the Dallas Zoo was missing a leopard. I don't know why that story didn't come up first, but they're letting us know that they found the leopard.
Good.
So, but this is a crazy part. The leopard was intentionally let out.
By a human or a monkey?
Oh, well, okay. So here's what it says. Dallas Zoo. The Dallas Zoo official said Friday that a missing clouded leopard was found after a day-long search. Well, it's only out for a day, not that bad. It's not like that freaking snake in where was in Sweden, a cobra that was out for like a week, and they're like, I
don't know.
Okay. I bet they took this a little more seriously than Sweden does. Evidence was found that the fence of the small cat's it's not that small of a cat. It's
not like a little.
Anyway, evidence was found. No, it's much bigger than a house cat. It's bigger than a bobcat. It's just not as big as a lion.
It's bigger than a bread box.
The writer of this article needs to like get their cat sizes in check a little bit better. Evidence was found that the fence of the small cat's habitat had been intentionally cut, police said. Ooh.
What?
The zoo tweeted that a cat named Nova, I love that name for it, who weighs about 20 to 25 pounds. What? Okay, maybe that is a small cat.
Maybe that
doesn't look that small.
Wait, is it a baby?
Got a big old noggin.
It's a jaguar?
I don't know. It has to be a baby, right? It has to be. It's a clouded leopard. Those are still, maybe they're just really lean, because my fat cat's like 20 pounds and he is,
wait a second,
he's not leopard size.
A clouded
says 20
leopard,
to 25 pounds.
A clouded leopard. My world is rocked by this.
Oh, is it small?
I guess it is.
Oh, wow.
Who knew?
Well, look at me. We're learning something. I mean, the picture like doesn't look like a small cat, but maybe like it's just, you got to get the full
we learn
cut out.
I guess
of it.
It's like
it's
we
too
like
zoomed in.
We like learning things as we're telling the story. It's fun
as we're going. Clouded leopard, which I guess is pretty small, 20 to 25 pounds, did not appear injured and was found near her original habitat. The search had closed Texas's largest zoo to visitors while staff and police combed the 100-acre grounds. So see, again, Sweden, take notes. You don't keep your place open when somebody's loose, especially a cobra. That's from a story like last year about a cobra that got loose at Sweden Zoo, and they took a full week to find it and kept the zoo open because they're nuts.
Insane.
The zoo announced that Nova had been found just moments after a news conference in which police and a criminal investigation has been opened. So they're going to find that sucker, let her out. so dangerous.
Nova.
Police and zoo officials say they have reviewed surveillance footage, but would not say what it showed or whether there were potential suspects. It is our belief that this was an intentional act, said Dallas Police Sergeant Warren Mitchell. Mitchell said Dallas police had first dispatched SWAT officers to the zoo, not understanding the size of the clouded leopard. So the same guys. Same. I heard leopard and I thought big old cat, and they found it with drones. They found her with some drones. So that's
good.
cool. Using technology for good.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I do need to see a size chart. The zoo had tweeted earlier in the day that the missing cat was a serious situation, but officials said the animal posed no danger. Bet it does to like guinea pigs and stuff, though.
I bet other cats. I mean, it could go after other cat.
Yeah, it could. It's still bigger than my cat. So there was another clouded gecko. Why do I keep saying gecko? Another clouded leopard at the zoo, who is Nova's sister, did not leave its habitat. So one was like, I'm gonna check out this hole in the fence, and the other one went, nah, I'm good. They don't say Nova's sister's name, but I bet it's like
Galaxy.
Something else. Yeah, Galaxy. I was trying to think of something that's like Nova's like the bad girl, and like her sister's like the good girl. I don't want to get in trouble.
Maybe like Super and Nova and be like,
yeah,
Super.
Something cute. So there you go. So welcome back home, Nova. I hope they find out who's letting leopards of any size out of their enclosure, because we don't want anybody to get hurt, or we don't want. Cute. I mean, especially the little kitty there.
No, oh my gosh, that's so cute. What a cute little thing.
So we love it. What do you have here?
All right, to finish my
blast from the past, I'm assuming.
Blast from the past is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a big fan of Star Trek. Like myself.
Really?
Yes. Like myself.
I love that for him.
I love the Star Trek shows. I love Star Trek, the original one. I love Star Trek, The Next Generation. I love Star Trek Voyager and Deep Space Nine and the new Star Trek. I like it a lot. So he was the one to convince Nichelle Nichols, who played Lieutenant Aurora on the original series, that she was thinking about leaving the show. And she was at a fundraiser for the NAACP, and she was advised that a fan of Star Trek wanted to meet her. And that fan was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So
crazy would that be?
That is like, can you imagine? That is
how
really,
crazy would that be?
That is crazy. Taken aback, Nichols thanked him and mentioned that she intended to leave the show. And he was like, you cannot do that. Because he explained...
Yes, because it was a very important role for diversity and everything, too. It was one of the very first ones.
Yeah, it was really, it was interesting. They had George Takei on there. Representing like Japanese Americans. You had Chekhov that
it was very
Russian.
Pioneering, especially for the time, to have such a diverse cast. And
and so he explained.
I never thought about that.
He explained to her that her presence was highly influential. She was a Black woman who held a position of authority, who wasn't singled out for her race or gender. And he felt it was important that it was a rare example of equality on television, and that he said he even let his children stay up to watch Star Trek. So she stayed with the show, which ran for another 2 seasons. And she was in all 6 Star Trek films. She worked with NASA in the 1980s to assist in recruiting minority and women astronauts.
She's a total boss.
Yes, she was. And she just passed away last year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
I love it.
That was the final.
I love that Dr. King was a nerd. He was totally a nerd.
I know.
So
I
great.
love it. I love it. She stayed.
And it's funny to think about, because he's so iconic as like a figure in history that you forget that this stuff wasn't that long ago, and it's like, oh yeah, totally, like a Star Trek fan.
Yeah, that's
That
I
you
mean
don't think of that all that stuff happening at the same time.
yeah, I mean, that's the thing that's interesting that I like learning about, people of note is, like, the little things, like, what their favorite, foods were, what they enjoyed, and I also like it because it's an example of, why art is important. There's a lot of, like, comments about how, entertainment is stupid or silly, and it really isn't. It's really, something that will let you see other people and other cultures, and you get introduced to these other concepts
Well, it's
and other people.
storytelling, it's a human connection, and
Mhm.
that's what's important about it so much is just the human connection of, like, just telling you about something,
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
that thing is. It is important. Storytelling's very important, and
yeah,
I will always stand by that. Yeah.
yeah,
So,
so I like it.
amazing. Yeah,
Amazing.
I
So
like that.
what
I
else is happening?
Yeah, I got more about, but I did have to put this in real quick because I did learn a Dr. King like fact a while ago that
Oh,
just
yeah?
blew my mind, and it goes in with the Nepo baby thing. So uh Mrs. King was looking for an acting school for the King children, but like no
Yeah.
place would take them in the South. And it turns out they wound up going to the Robertses acting school in Georgia,
Mhm.
and that was Julia Roberts' parents.
Yeah, and, the other part of that, right? That
What?
the Kings were so grateful for, their kids being a part of this, great acting school that they paid for Julia Roberts' birth.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, it's, like,
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, I don't know. I just heard about that, and I'm like, Julia Roberts really needs to pimp that fact out a little bit more because that's a fact.
It's so interesting.
It
Yeah,
is. All
it's
these
really,
relations together.
yeah, it's very interesting, but
I
yeah,
love it.
I love hearing people's, like, theater backgrounds too. It's like, I love the theater.
I love the connections. The connections are
Mhm.
amazing. And
Yeah.
that brings us to our final connection. I always like to bring it back to Florida because this is the Florida Person podcast, named after the crazy news you hear out of Florida.
Oh,
So
yeah.
here's our last story. It happened on January 3rd, and this is quintessential Florida Person, right?
What's
Florida
that?
sheriff says burglars called 911 to get help moving stuff
What? Like, out of their location that they
out of
were
the house
robbing?
they're burglarizing.
What is
So it
wrong?
says Poinciana, Florida. I think that's how you say it, Poinciana, because it's like
Yeah.
poinsettia.
Point
Yeah,
points
uh, po-
Poinciana, I think.
Poinciana.
We'll
I'm
go with
pretty
that.
sure I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, Poinciana, Florida. Two people in Florida were arrested after one of them made a 911 call to get help with moving their belongings from a home they were burglarizing,
What?
authorities said. Burglarizing. Harder to
Yeah.
say than you'd think. Listen to me stumble on that a couple more times. Uh, Deputies, I don't know, some words are hard for me to say. I got too many teeth in a little mouth or something. That's a dentist once said that to me.
Oh, you were like,
That I have a
"Thank
small
you.
mouth for all my teeth. And I'm like, okay.
Thanks."
Thanks. Deputies responded to a home Saturday after a 911 call was made, but nobody spoke, the Polk County Sheriff's Office said.
Oh my.
At the home, the deputies concluded that nobody lived there, but they found a male suspect and his girlfriend inside the home after entering it through an unlocked door. Deputies had been searching for the male suspect after identifying him from a security video as a burglar at a Dollar General store in Poinciana, Florida, where several items were stolen earlier in the day, the
Oh
sheriff's
my
office said in a
goodness.
statement. So Poinciana is about 35. I love it when they tell us exactly where it is. Poinciana is about 35 miles south of Orlando.
Oh my god, I
So
knew they were gonna
right
say
smack in the
Orlando
middle of the
because
state.
they always say, like,
I love it
so
when
it
they
was
tell me where it is in
south of
relation to
Orlando,
Orlando.
north of Orlando.
Well, like everybody knows where two cities are in Florida. They know where Miami is and they know where Orlando is, and everything is
Yeah.
around there.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't mind when they do that. I know a lot more cities than those two, but I do enjoy knowing exactly how close to Orlando things are.
Oh, yeah,
Helps.
yep, true.
So, while talking to deputies, the female suspect told them that she had called 911 for the purpose of having law enforcement help them move their belongings from the house they were burglarizing. They also wanted to get a ride to the airport so they could spend the week in New York, the sheriff's office. This isn't like Uber Eats.
What?
Like, what
on earth?
They're like
what did they think they were
like
calling?
It's Craigslist or
that's like some
Task Rabbit.
Yeah, or like their I don't know, their parents or something. That's like something you request, like a friend.
I hope they were doing I just hope they were doing drugs, and this is just they were so high that they thought this was a good idea.
Yeah, I hope that.
That they're not just this stupid. I don't know.
I know, because that's like really like in Florida.
Yeah, how do people
be like,
Yeah, how do people exist into adulthood? And
I don't know.
That's
Golly.
insane. That's insane. Deputies did help them with their belongings and did give them a ride, but it wasn't to the airport. It was to Polk Pokey, the sheriff's office said in a Facebook post. I do like that. I love when they get all saucy. And they are welcome to stay there all weekend long. The Polk Pokey is much better than New York anyway. They're so saucy.
Really going on with their little jokey joke there.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Like, go off, sheriff. The male suspect was charged with burglary and theft related to the store and also burglary of a residence. The female suspect was charged with burglary of a residence, according to the sheriff's office. So, you ding dongs. Yeah, this is like just the quintessential story of when people are like, Florida.
I know. Yeah, really.
And who could blame him? Who could blame him?
Dummies. Guys.
Yeah.
I really wish they would have like included if they were on drugs or not,
because I gotta know. I gotta know that you didn't just go, you know what could help in this situation of crime? The police. Maybe they'll just be real nice this time and just do what we ask. Maybe they're gonna help us with our stuff. They're gonna take us to the airport. Woo-wee.
Jeez.
What a ding-dong.
Ding dongs.
So I guess there you have it. I don't know what else I can say about. I think everything you could say.
I have one thing to say also from last week is that song. You scream, what is it? We scream, they scream, we all scream for ice cream.
We all scream for ice cream, yeah.
Yes. Looked up that song and ended up being, racist in a kind of way against the Inuit people, because they're like Eskimos. It's like, that's what the Eskimos are saying because of,
because they're from a snowy area and ice cream. Yeah, it's a thinker.
Yeah, it's really so it's like, and it's a real goofy theme, goofy instruments, real out of control.
Okay, but now it's in the public domain, so change it for the better. Everybody make it your own and take out the bad parts.
Yeah, can you just have it take place in an ice cream parlor like I thought it was? Because now I'm like, oh, yikes.
Oh, well, disappointing, but also then I'm glad it's in the public domain. So and get on out there and go fix it up.
That's what you're going to get from songs from, like
it's like 100 years almost. Yeah. Yeah. I know. Yeah, that is the thing. The further you look back, you're like,
yeah. Sometimes there's something salvageable, like, well, we could take that phrase and use it in some other way.
And if you can't do it, call the police and have them help write it for you, because apparently to some people, they'll just do your bidding. They're like, whatever you need.
Maybe they'll like take your dog for a walk or something.
Yeah, could they come and like clean my oven or something? Like, I guess that's the public service,
Yeah.
Oh, well, or maybe they can help me edit this podcast, because that's it, y'all, and that's That's it. That's it.
That's
Bye-bye.
We did it, everybody.
Yeah, so if you didn't realize, that's the end of this week's podcast. Thanks so much for listening to Florida Person Podcast. We'll see you again next week with like a bunch of new and old and odd stories.
Yay, bye.
Florida Person. Florida Person. Florida Person.